Welcome to the PSY P430 Behavior Modification Getting Started video. The purpose of this video is to make sure that you have a good start to your spring semester. So let's get going. My name is Dr. Igor Yurishevich, and this is Behavior Modification. Let's do this. All right, so as already mentioned, the purpose of this video is to make sure that you have a great start to this current semester. And honestly, finding this video and starting to watch it gets you about 90% of the way towards that great start. And we're going to make sure that we get you that last 10% so that we can hit the ground running and we can just maximize your learning experience this semester. All right, so the first thing that I want to mention about PSY P430 Behavior Modification is that this course works in conjunction with PSY P241 Functional Analysis of Behavior. However, it is designed to be standalone. So while I highly recommend that eventually you take PSY P241 Functional Analysis Behavior 1, because these two courses really are two halves of the same coin and they complement each other. You can take this one without taking the previous one. It is standalone. So just rest assured, if you haven't taken PSY P241, highly recommend you do once it finally comes around on your schedule again. But you can be successful in PSY P430 as long as you have the other prerequisites. And this is designed to be standalone. So for those of you, on that note, for those of you that have taken PSY P241, you will notice that we do have some repetition in the concepts and the things that we're learning. And as we've seen before, you know that repetition is extremely good for learning. So this will take you that extra step, kind of really solidify the learning that you had in 241. So if you're coming from 241, prepare to take yourself to the next level. If you're beginning with PSY P430, prepare to enter this world at a pace that will be reflective of your learning abilities for this course. All right, so the first thing that I want to mention is the Canvas homepage for this course. So on the Canvas homepage, you have all your typical information. Highly recommend get in there, start poking around, check out the syllabus. But what I want to do in this video is highlight some of the unique aspects of this course that I've developed. So the first thing that I want to mention is the assignments. So if you click on assignments, and when it takes you there, it might be grouped by date. I highly recommend that instead of being show by date, click on show by type, and that will show you the organization of this course. Because one of the things I do for my courses is I build in a checklist for you for every single week. So this is your suggested checklist for keeping pace in the course, progressing in the course. This is my suggestion about what you want to do per week. So as you can see, we have your checklist for week number 1. And if you click on each of these, it will tell you what you need to do. So for example, watch video PSY P40 getting started. You're doing that right now. And then when you complete it, you can simply click on it. You can take the quiz, and the quiz will just be, have you completed this? Yes or no. And then you can keep track of your pace in that and make sure that you are completing all the assignments and you know exactly what you need to do every single week. So currently we are up to week 3 on that, and I will be updating weeks 4, 5, 6, all the way down to that final week 17. But that is the first thing that I want you to be aware of is this checklist. Use it. You know exactly what you need to do every single week. It's all laid out for you. So take advantage of that resource when you're doing this course. All right, so one thing that you'll notice on this checklist here is that we have these steps that are called Complete Learning Aid Chapter X. And what this is this is a practice aid. This is a series of multiple choice questions and matching questions and some true or false questions that are designed to help you read the chapter and absorb the material. So this is designed to help you have that interrogative stance towards reading your chapter. So this is a quiz. It is multiple attempts and is designed for study and practice. So I highly recommend when you're reading through your book, open up this quiz, look for the questions, look for the answers to the questions in your text, work through it, and just be aware that these learning aids, you have multiple attempts to get them correct. They're not going to be giving you the feedback in terms of which answers are correct. They will mark which answers are incorrect, but it's designed as a learning aid and they do not count towards your final grade. However, the next step that we have, so once you've completed the learning aid, then we have this learning check, which is your actual pretest. And for the learning check, this is designed for assessment. Now, it's the exact same quiz that you just took in the learning aid. So I want to be very transparent about that. It's the exact same quiz. So you don't have to be worried about taking the learning check. If you've completed the learning aid, you can complete the learning aid as much as you like until you get that 100% completion, and then go forth and complete that learning check. And the learning check is a single attempt, and that is designed for assessment. That is just designed to make sure that you are prepared with the chapter material, that you have done that pretest, that first level of learning that will prepare you in order for the next step, which is to watch the videos. So each of these weeks is going to start with reading a chapter, going through that learning aid, going through that pretest. Then it's going to be followed up with 2 video lessons. I try to keep these short and very to the point. And then after the 2 video lessons, we have our weekly video homework. And this is where you get your information for the homework assignment for that week. And I will be giving more details on these homework assignments in just a moment, because the next thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about the post tests. So we talked about the pre-test. You got that one shot. This is for your design for assessing your learning to make sure that you're prepared to take it to the next step, to watch those videos. And then what we do is we do the post test after you've completed the homework, after you've completed the videos. We have your post test, and this is also multiple attempt. However, for this, I have a few recommendations. First off, use the first attempt to self-assess your learning. So this is to be completed after you've done the pre-test, after you've watched the video, and after you've completed the homework, for example, for chapter 1. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the post test. You have multiple attempts at the post test. Okay, so this is not designed to necessarily impact your GPA here. You have multiple attempts, but it is important to assess your learning, to figure out if you need to go back and review some material. So what I would recommend, because you have multiple attempts, do the first attempt closed book. Do it closed book. Put your textbook away. Put your notes away. Take the test as if you were sitting in an exam room, in a face-to-face closed book scenario, and use that to just assess where you are in your learning. And then once you get your feedback, go back, redo some of your, take a look at your notes, take a look at the videos again. You'll know exactly where you need to reassess your learning, and then come back and complete it open book. And, just to make sure that you get those points. So be sure to do that, close book that first time for that self-assessment. And again, this is the exact same quiz that you've been learning in the learning aids and the pre-test. So this is going to be, the multiple times that you've seen it. However, it is a great way of knowing, once you close that book, have you actually learned the material, or do you just feel like you've learned the material? And that's great feedback to have as we progress in this course. All right, so now we're going to talk about the homework. So in every single week, the last step in every single week is going to be to watch information about what the homework assignment is. So this is where I'm going to basically upload a video where I say, okay, for this week's homework, we're going to do this, and this is how we do it, and this is the program we're going to use, and this is how you fill out the Excel file, and these are the behaviors we're going to measure. Whatever it is that we're working on at that point, that's where you're going to get the information for that homework assignment. You then have 1 week to complete the homework, but importantly, homework assignments are going to take 5 days to complete. Let me get that 5 in the screen. They're going to take 5 days to complete. Now, this is because they're all based on behavior modification, and behavior modification only takes place across time. So the homework is actually not going to take you very long per day, but just bear in mind that it will take you 5 days to complete this homework. So plan that out. Again, it's not going to take up, hours upon hours every single day. It's going to take up very little time, but we need to make sure that you're doing that per day. So watch the homework video. You'll get your information for the next week's homework assignment. During that week, Monday to Sunday, 5 days out of those 7, complete the required homework assignment, the required homework behaviors. And then you'll know from the information video what you need to upload, how you need to complete it. But just make sure that you're planning out that homework for those 5 days. Now, when we're talking about homework, let's talk about the assessment that we have. So we have multiple due dates in this course, and multiple types of due dates. So the first thing I want to mention is the learning aids. So just to let you know, the learning aids, they are there to help you learn the material. They do not count towards your final grade. The pre-tests, they do count towards your final grade. The post-tests, they do count towards your final grade. but these are due on the final day of classes. This is part of my one deadline policy that I have on many of the kind of quizzes and tests that I have. So post-tests and pre-tests, they are due on the final day of classes. They will pop up in your to-do list as being due at certain days, but just know that you can complete them late. There's no late penalty for the pre-test and the post-test. They're due on the final day of classes, and that's because, you know, people learn at different rates. The knowledge will get into your brain at different rates. So feel free to, you know, do that at your own pace, but just know by the final day of classes, wrap up your pre-tests and your post-tests. However, and this is a big however, and I want to make sure that everybody is well aware of this, homework is due weekly. So the homework assignments, we have 14 homework assignments, and it's literally going to be due every single week. So at the end of week 2, homework assignment step 1 is due. At the end of week 3, homework assignment step number 2 is due. And you'll see that schedule. You can see it in the syllabus already, and you'll see it on your Canvas checklist. I just want to make sure that you're aware of that, because we need to have these homework assignments due every single week, because we are going to be training techniques in modifying behavior, and we're going to be modifying our own behavior. And both of those take distributed time. Both of those take practice over time. So the homework is designed to help you practice over time, to help you modify behavior over time. And because of that, they need to be due every single week. Now, you do have a 1-week grace period on every single homework assignment. So I will not be penalizing people if they come in late. I understand life happens. But just know that if homework is due on January 15th, for example, that first homework assignment is due on, not due on January 15th, due on January 22nd. So behavior modification, weekly homework step 1 is due on January 22nd. That's when the due date is. You have until January 29th to actually submit that homework assignment. So that is that 1-week grace period. But after that, it's gone. So plan ahead for that. Try to get it in by the 22nd, but I understand life happens. So if you can't get it in by that, get it in by at least a week after that. But after that, it's gone, because we need to make sure that we are training and working on our behavior modification, and that builds and builds and builds and builds. So if you miss a week, it's not like we can go in our time machine and go back and train ourselves and train those techniques. So be on top of your homework. You do have that 1-week grace period, but try to get it in when the due dates are. All right, and the last thing that I want to mention, we mentioned the video lectures on the week's material, so that's going to be available at near the end of every week. So you have the beginning of the week where you engage in some self-learning, some self-education, and then you have me jump in near the end of the week with some highlights and insight on what we've been learning during that week. The last thing I want to mention, and this is one of the things that excites me the most about this course, is the homework. So the homework is going to be behavior modification. No big surprise. The course is called Behavior Modification. How are you going to learn that? You're going to learn it by modifying behavior. Now, the question is, whose behavior are we going to modify? And you probably already guessed this from this video, but we're going to modify your behavior. So this is your opportunity to actually think about and pick behaviors that you want to improve, behaviors that you want to increase, maybe some behaviors that you want to decrease. And as homework in this course, you're going to be able to improve the behaviors you want to increase and use behavioral techniques, use psychology techniques to decrease behaviors that you don't want. So for educational purposes, I will be choosing some of these behaviors, but then there will be behaviors that you select on your own, self-selected behaviors. So try to think about that. You know, in the coming weeks, we won't be selecting the behaviors for the first couple of weeks. But try to think about stuff in your life that you want to improve. So if you ever wanted to learn a new language, you can do that as homework in this course. If you ever wanted to learn to play an instrument, you can do that as homework in this course. If you've ever wanted to get rid of a bad behavior, you can do that as homework in this course. So it's extremely exciting. And I've already done this in Psych P241. And I just want to tell you that it was amazing, some of the results that we had. So on the self-selected behaviors, the behavioral improvement that we saw by the end of the semester for the self-selected behavior number 1, and I don't want to say it yet because they might change. So sorry, not the self-selected behavior. On the behaviors that I chose, behavior number 1 improved, students improved by 30%. On behavior number 2, students improved by 28%. On behavior number 3, students improved by 46%. And these were all chosen to help improve your academic performance. So these were behaviors that I specifically chose because they impact academic performance. So imagine that as homework, you're going to be engaging in behavior modification techniques that will actually improve your academic performance by maybe up to 46%. And then on top of that, and this was a really exciting part, for the self-selected behaviors, the average improvement on the self-selected behaviors was 73%. So students improved their behaviors that they selected for themselves: learn a new language, learn to play an instrument, decrease certain bad behaviors. They improved those by 73%. And one student just blew the roof off and improved their behavior by 440%. So there is massive potential in this course. I'm very excited to, for everybody to get their hands on themselves and just kind of get into modifying their behavior. And we're going to learn all the techniques. We're going to learn all the theories. We're going to learn about behavior modification. But the most exciting part of this course, for me at least, is actually getting out there and improving people's behavior. And in this case, is going to be our behavior. So that's what I'm most excited about. But we have reached the end of this welcome to Psych P430 getting started video. So that is it for me. So I am again just super excited to get ready to get going. Take a look at Canvas, poke around, try some stuff, start reading your textbook, get a jump on week 1, and I will hopefully see you very soon. So until next time, stay frosty, and let's go modify some behavior. Now, you found your way to this video, which means that you are about 90% of the way getting started on your first week. And this video is designed, and I hate that intro. Let's try it again.